Hey, Lamont Collins, Roots 101 African American Museum. We're on Deeply Rooted this morning, and let me tell you, I'm surrounded by black energy, black excellence. Today I'm bringing you three young brothers. The other one's going to speak. I know at least I have two that's going to speak to what we're doing today. And I'll let them introduce themselves to you, and then we'll get started. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Sean Somerville. I am with Ebony Green's apparel brand, just recently started, but I'm also a community advocate here. I work with Louisville Central Community Center on 13th and Ali. I'm also working with my buddy sitting next to me, and he can tell you about himself. And I am also the local site host ambassador for the African American Golf Expo.
Hi, my name is Gregory Mack. I'm the Du Bois Middle and High School golf coach. Started that program this year. Um, I also am part of the PGA Hope program for the veterans, being a former Marine, and very excited to be here and talk about the interest in bringing the game to young black men.
Well, cool. I'm glad you guys are here. Golf is so important in so many ways. The community, the networking you do, we know that's why a lot of it started. But even the history, there's some great black players historically have done great. And everybody does. A lot of people didn't know that Joe Lewis was a professional golf player at one time.
Yes, he was.
But let's talk about Louisville. Let's talk about what you're doing. Sean, when I first met you at Roots 101, I think that's the first time we met. We talked about the Expo, the Black Golf Expo that you guys were involved in bringing to Louisville. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, real short and sweet. I'm part of what's called the BTAC, which is the Louisville Tourism Advisory Council. It's a Black Tourist Advisory Council that Louisville Tourism started, and under the leadership of Cleo Battle. And he brought a bunch of people together and said, "Hey, I want to create an opportunity and show the outside regions that Louisville is a place for tourism, and we have things here that would be interesting to Black people, the community." Being on that board, it created some ideas. I reached out to Jim Beatty, who is the president of Jim Beatty Golf Ventures, who also owns the African American Golf Expo. Asked him how we could get involved. At that time, the first year, the inaugural year was in Atlanta. I wasn't able to attend. Saw it. Timing was just right. He said, "Well, I'm actually looking for a host city now." I said, "Well, hey, can we be considered? What do we need to do?" We put all the paperwork together. I got with Louisville Tourism. They helped build that RFP. We submitted it. He came in town, did some visits, selected us for year 2023, and that was in year 2021, going into 22. So 22, they went to North Carolina. I attended that, continued to build relationships, and now I'm actually sitting on the planning committee for the 2023 Expo that'll be here in Louisville in August of this year.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm part of the BTEC also. I don't attend much because I have some issues off the camera that I like to talk about. I think, we need to be involved, but we also need to be a coalition and a consultant piece to everything we do. I mean, I don't think all black people's opinions come for free. And I think every other person don't look like us get the role of consultant and they get paid for their services.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing, and I've said it to everyone that we have to be collectively understanding how the game's worked. And if the game works that way and dollars on the table, our suggestions, our market is worth of value in dollars. So, I just thought I'd throw it out there because I always do. And I have to be true to myself on that. But we need black people called consultants and not volunteers and not committee members. And we have to be serious about that because if we're not serious about it, it will never change. But go ahead. We're talking about what you got coming. Give us an idea how many people you think will be coming to the expo and what the expo will do.
So year one, they had about 300 or 400 people attend with a $700,000 impact to the city. Year two, those numbers declined slightly, but it was still in that ballpark. And year three, we're anticipating that and more. We have the support and the backing of Louisville Tourism. We're going to work with them closely to help do marketing, guerrilla marketing, reach other markets outside of our community, or meaning locally. We're going to hit other regions, all the larger cities. And as most people know, Louisville is a unique city because it's a 5 or 6 hour drive from several major other markets,
Okay.
being Indianapolis, Chicago, Nashville, so on and so on and so forth. So Ohio. So we have that advantage. They have a direct connection to those markets. So we're going to actually do some marketing out to those groups as well. We are building a team, the committee, the planning committee. We've had our second meeting actually last night, and so we're starting to synergize those ideas and starting to create those opportunities to build those connections and relationships to do a good guerrilla marketing strategy.
Okay, let's talk about the local affiliations with golf. Like you're at the boys' school, which I love the boys' school. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing something with you guys along with Grace James from a Black History perspective of debate type of thing we're going to be doing with them. But I love the boys. When I visited the young men, I mean, they were outstanding. They were energized and learning in the community. And so I love the boys. So I even love the idea of you guys putting a golf team together. So how did that happen?
Well, actually, it's a good friend of yours, Tremel, really got the idea started.
Coach Tremel.
Coach Tremel.
Yeah.
And he brought me in and said, "Hey, Greg Mack, this guy, he's going to bring this energy to this program." I think because Coach Tremel has a lot of different areas that he's so busy in. He's like, "Well, I can't give it full focus, but whatever you need from me, knowledge, contacts, I'm going to give it to you."
Yeah, he's that guy.
He is that guy. And so when he was able to bring me into it and we got it started, the biggest thing that we had to do was get out of the mindset of these young men that the only avenue of achievement is through basketball and football. And that's understandable. When you come from a community, that's easy access for us. Golf, having access to golf courses, having access to equipment is something in fact. But what I try to teach my young men is this. Through our history, we've always had obstacles. And even going further, you're going to have obstacles. And this is something that you'll learn in the game of golf because you can hit a great shot in golf and know the next shot might not be as good. That's an obstacle. You got to overcome that. And so when I get them young men, I not only teach them the game of golf, but I teach them about being a young, respectful Black man, carrying yourself with pride. Because if you look back through our history, we were distinguished. And it goes back to kind of what I heard you say earlier. Don't let everybody else create your narrative. Let's create our own narrative. And I think we did that this coming year with W.B. Du Bois. But we still need that interest and that connection to help us take it from the introduction stage to where we want to go.
Yeah, you talk about Coach Tremel. And the reason I met Dennis when I was playing football at University of Louisville, he was our track coach. And so he would always talk about, hey, come on to the track, that kind of thing. But he was always a mentor for everybody. And I had a nephew that played golf. I think I just told his name was Teddy Collins. And Teddy was a phenomenal golfer. He's won national awards. And they called him the next Tiger Woods because he was biracial. And he went to Stanford University, played on the national team at Stanford. And like I told you, he just stopped playing because his sister passed away her second year in medical school, so he just lost interest in the game. But what I saw about the game is the area what elevated him. He was a great student. So because he was a great student, he had great opportunities for scholarships, right? So he was Stanford, you name every major school in this country, he had opportunity. Now he's the assistant CFO of SeatGeek, which is a company out of San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But the doors of Little Teddy, we call him Little Teddy, open when he was here in Louisville. He became like the mentor for young men that wanted to play golf.